Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. I'd like to welcome you all here tonight. My name is Kevin Brown, and I'm the chair of Citizens for Better Transit, and we're the organization that's hosting tonight's event. Citizens for Better Transit is a registered nonprofit society, and we've been around for about 7.5 years now. Our membership comes from the public at large and comprises people of different backgrounds and interests, but we're all working towards a common goal, namely advocating for quality investments in public transit as a key element in the city's transportation system. Access to quality public transit can do so much to improve the quality of urban life, to alleviate congestion, reduce emissions and other negative transportation impacts, and improve sustainability. It's becoming more and more apparent to people that our current lifestyle hovers presently on the brink of change, however, with peak oil at hand and a need to find ways to adapt to rapid change while maintaining the society that we have built. As one of our founding members said, public transit is an idea whose time has come. And I believe that's truer now than ever. I believe that public transit will become more and more the mode of choice for people in our cities as we transition into a more energy-conscious society. But the question also is, will transit and even transportation itself, as we now know it, survive? And if so, what do we need to do in order to ensure this? This is a topic that Dr. Richard Gilbert has researched and explored for years, and we've invited him here tonight to talk about what energy and transport challenges are facing us now and lie ahead. Now, in the interests of sustainability, we've secured the sponsorship of power for this event through Bullfrog Power Incorporated. This means that Bullfrog Power will inject carbon-free green power into the Alberta grid to match the amount of electricity used at this event. All of the electricity injected on our behalf will be sourced exclusively from producers who meet or exceed the federal government's Ecologo standard for renewable energy. And I just wanted to acknowledge, we also have some special guests in our audience tonight, and in particular I wanted to acknowledge Councillor Ben Henderson. I'm not sure if I see any of the other councillors in the audience tonight or not. Several had indicated that they would like to attend our event, but of course you have to understand they have very busy schedules, so it's often not possible to appear everywhere. Now, I'd like to introduce our speaker tonight, Richard Gilbert. He has had a varied career, including working as a high school teacher in the 1950s, a university professor and researcher in the 1960s and 70s, a municipal politician in the 70s and 80s, and a consultant since the early 1990s. His work as a consultant focuses on transport and energy issues, and also on waste management and urban governance. His main client over the last 15 years has been the Paris-based Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD. He has also worked for the International Energy Agency, the United Nations Human Settlements Program, the governments of Austria, Canada, the Netherlands, and the United States, and numerous private sector clients in Asia and North America. He served as a member of the City of Toronto Planning Board from 1973 to 76, as a member of the Councils of the City of Toronto and Metropolitan Toronto from 1976 to 1991, President of the Federation of Canadian Municipalities in 1986 to 87, and as Chair and CEO of the Toronto District Heating Corporation from 1982 to 1989. On retiring as a municipal politician, he became the first president and CEO of the Canadian Urban Institute and has worked as an independent consultant since 1993. He has authored and co-authored or edited 14 books and several hundred scholarly and popular articles, books, chapters, and major reports for clients. The most recent book, written together with Anthony Pearl, is called Transport Revolutions: Moving People and Freight Without Oil, published in Europe in December 2007 and in North America in February of this year, 2008. The book explores, with focuses on China and the United States, how societies with great dependence on the motorized movement of people and goods could survive into an area of severe energy constraints. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Richard Gilbert.
Kevin, thank you very much, and thank you to Citizens for Better Transit for inviting me and setting this up and giving me an opportunity to share a few of the ideas that are in this book and a few other ideas that are not in the book. The book, as you can see, and as Kevin mentioned, is Energy and Transport. The book is Transport Revolutions, Moving People and Freight Without Oil. I've called this Energy and Transport in the Next Decades because I was getting a bit tired of calling presentations Transport Revolutions. The nub of this book is this chart, which I'm going to explain in a minute, so you don't have to digest it now. But what it shows is oil production worldwide peaking in a year or two. And I'm going to come back to that. This is going to change the way Edmonton and everybody else plans and manages transportation. This is the current transportation plan in 1999, last revised in 2007, and is not appropriate for an era of energy constraints, for an era of oil depletion. Even though we're in Alberta, it's not appropriate, and I'll come to that particular point later. If we don't prepare for the era of oil depletion, when oil production inexorably declines, we will have a hard landing into that condition, a hard landing that is characterized by unprepared responses, panicky, dysfunctional actions. If we do prepare, and I'll explain what I mean by preparation later in the talk, we can have a soft landing. A soft landing that cushions the blows of oil depletion and may even reduce the extent of the gap between supply and demand that is beginning to emerge. What preparation means above all is electrification of land transport. This is one of the 228 new Vancouver trolley buses. You've had one around the streets of Edmonton as well. This is a train in France last year, TGV, doing just under 600 kilometers an hour. That's not the normal speed of those trains. They normally run at around 330. But this was a souped-up one. It was designed to break the world speed record, and it did. I think it was 575 kilometers an hour. I took a couple of my grandchildren to Disney World in April. This is the Canadian-built monorail at Disney World, built by Bombardier, another version of electric transport. This is a car that is coming into production this year in India. It looks very much like one that's had a lot of publicity, called the Tata Nano, which is going to retail for $2,500 US. This is actually not that car. It is the Tara, a completely different company, tiny. And unlike the Tata Nano, it is an electric car, an entirely electric car, and it's going to retail for $2,449. Electricity being cheaper. And there will be kinds of electric transport, land transport, that we are not familiar with, and indeed may not yet have even been invented. This is an artist's view of what is called personal rapid transit that has been mooted for years and is just in various forms coming in, individualized pods that you dial your destination and it sweeps you there. Heathrow Airport has a trial scheme. Dubai and Abu Dhabi are setting them up. So preparation means, above all, electrification of land transport. The thesis of the book and the thesis of my presentation is that transport revolutions are coming. They're coming in response to the